again here. Sorry guys, technical difficulties seem to be an issue. Gonna try to get back into it here.
All right, let's do a mic check. 1, 2. How we sound?
Okay, now that's better.
Okay. All right. Now we're getting cracking on this Thursday night. All right, guys. Welcome to Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, Week 5 pregame show here. I'm Dom. That's Gonz. I know you can hear me before. How are you doing on this Thursday night?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm excited to break this down. Week 5 is kicked off. Commanders are taking on the Bears. The Bears are trying to survive another big lead. They are currently up 30-14 with the Commanders on the goal line in the fourth quarter. Who knows what's going to happen? The madness has already begun. Can the Bears get their first dub of the season? I don't know. But I'm excited to talk about this upcoming Ravens-Steelers matchup, Game 3 in the division. We stand at 3-1 and 2-0 on the road. So we'll see if we can make that 3-0 on the road.
And the key word you just said, division. We have had 2 big division dubs in the course of these first 4 games, which are going to be huge for later, especially when we talked about before coming with playoff season. As you mentioned, we will be going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's going to be some questions here. Question 1, Kenny Pickett playing? He was a full participant during today's practice, which can speak for him to start at Pressure Stadium. Are getting a couple of back practice, getting healthier, which is great. We'll focus on the things that we're expecting from the Ravens going into this game. First, I'm speaking offensively. We're beginning to gel as an offense. I think showing, even though it was against the Bengals, even though it was against the number 1 defense, we weren't firing all cylinders, but we were clicking, and you can start to see that Tom Muckin's off on the flow with the Ravens. I think this could be something that we play very, very well against Pittsburgh, who haven't really looked great. I mean, obviously there are some bright spots on defense. Obviously, we know Pittsburgh's defense is no joke, but I think offensively, things I want to see here, we got to move the ball to more than just Zay Flowers. I would really like to see. It looks like Bateman will be back for this game, so I would love to see him get some more touches. I would love to see Galore also. I would like to see him get some red zone targets. I really feel like he could be a threat in the red zone. I'm really excited to see how he's going to be utilized more. Andrews, Zay, they're going to get theirs regardless. To see other guys get as the season goes on. I think this could be the game to do it on a Steelers team who has been up and down this season and hasn't really had a consistent flow offensively or defensively. So moving the ball, that's 1. 2, Lamar, hold on to the football. Okay, we can't have these mishaps, these miscues, these botched snaps. We can't have that against this opponent. This opponent knows us too well. Tomlin knows us like a book. He's played us billions of times. He knows us. We can't make these mistakes against guys who know us this well. It's not going to fare for us in the long run. The run game, I feel as though the run game will be fine. Gus and Justice together with Lamar, carrying himself. I think the run game will continue to flow. It'll be nice to see Gus and Justice continue to get more touches. I'm excited to see what they can do, especially Gus, the powerhouse, and Justice, the elusive back. They should be just fine. But those are my main takes for the offense. I don't really offensive line penalties. We have to limit those as well. No offensive line penalties. Morgan Moses, I'm looking at you. Let's try to limit those as well going into this game. We are going against these guys. This will be the first game, but if we can see them again, we have to make sure we get this win and make sure we control the flow of the ball. Let's dominate the clock, not have them get the ball as much, and I think that'll be a key to success. So passing more to other players, less offensive line penalties, hold on to the ball, less miscues, less mishaps, and I think we should be fine. I think we can offensively, we should be able to put on a show.
All right. So the audio was a little bit weird when you first started. Did you cover the injury report?
I touched on it a little bit. I talked about some guys
All
coming
right.
back. I didn't fully
Let's
touch
go
on
over
it.
that officially right now. So, starting with the Baltimore, before I give my breakdown for the offensive keys of the game, let's take a glance at both the Steelers and the Ravens injury report as of today, Thursday, October 5th. The Ravens got some wonderful news this week. Slew of guys return to practice. Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham, limited, but Rashad Bateman, full practice. So that is a huge addition to this offense. Justice Hill was listed as a foot and hamstring limited in practice. I hope he's still going to be available. He should be, but that hamstring is something to keep an eye on. That wasn't on the injury report last year or last week. Morgan Moses made his return today after suffering that shoulder injury in the Cleveland game. Missed practice yesterday, but did return on a limited basis today. So that was great. Ronnie Stanley, full participant for a second straight day. And he also described, when asked the question, will he play in Pittsburgh? There's a strong possibility, quote unquote. So that's very, very good. So he's on track to play. It'd be nice to have him back when we got these nasty edge rushers in Pittsburgh going up against us on the defensive side of the ball. So this will be that's key. That's a very key addition for this Ravens offensive line. Marcus Williams, full participant again, and he's on track to make his return against the Steelers. He intercepted a pass last year against the Steelers in their matchup in Pittsburgh, so hopefully he can repeat history and do it again. The only guys on the injury report that are still not practicing is Odafe Owe and Darryl Worley, who also got hurt in the Browns game. So the Ravens are slowly starting to get guys back, and that is a wonderful thing to see. I'm really excited for Bateman. I'm glad he's on his way back. Hopefully he makes it onto the field. He should, and that can open up the field some more for guys like you said, Nelson Aguilar, Zay Flowers, Devin Duvernay, all of them. I don't anticipate Odell being back because he's still on a limited basis. They're going to ease him back into it. It'll be a surprise to me if he plays on Sunday. So we'll see. But it's looking like Rashad Bateman will be the 1. 2 will be Zay. 3 will be Nelson. So that's looking good. Yes, Max, how you doing tonight? Nelson Aguilar is good this year. He has done his thing. Now, what do you mean? Come on, man. You got to watch the highlights. He's done his thing. I know hey, listen, your Commanders are losing to the Bears, so you better be watching this game right now. So don't be talking crap about our team if you can't beat the 0-4 Bears. So you need to keep watching. Keep watching. I've got the game on right now. Y'all are trailing by 10 with 9 minutes to go. Anyway, back onto the topic of this game. It's all fun and games. The Rashad Bateman addition to the wide receiver room is massive. Oh, another one I forgot to mention. Jalen Armour-Davis has returned after being injured, I believe, in the Colts game. I may be wrong. I can't remember. But basically a lot of guys returning, and that's a wonderful thing. Taking a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers side of things, they are also dealing with some major issues. As of Thursday, first major key player, Pat Freiermuth, hamstring, not practicing. James Daniels, I don't know if that's a starter, did not practice, groin. Dan Moore Jr., their left tackle, knee injury, did not practice. Alex Highsmith, and this is a shocker to me, I didn't realize he was hurt, missing his second straight day of practice with a groin injury. So that's massive. Massive, massive, massive. And their punter, and some of you might be like, oh, Gonz, that's it's just a punter. Punting is a very key aspect in football. If you have to have a good punter, because if your punter shanks it, you can give the other team really good field position. Presley Harvin did not practice for the second straight day. So the Steelers at risk of having to use a backup punter for this game coming up. You just kind of wonder how that's going to affect the offensive play calling if their punter is not, on track. or not, going to be able to punt the rock away very nicely like Presley Harvin can. You all know what I'm saying? That could impact the game. Are they going to go for it on fourth down some more? Are they going to try to punt? Are they still going to try to punt like normal? It's interesting to see how they're going to approach that. So the Steelers dealing with some pretty big injuries as well. Probably the biggest one I would take away is Freiermuth on offense. That's their guy. That's their tight end. So Darnell Washington will probably be taking the reins. And Alex Highsmith, the guy opposite, edge rusher opposite of TJ Mwatt. So 2 huge injuries. And that's in addition to Cameron Hayward, who's on IR, and Deontay Johnson, their wide receiver 1 or 2. I guess he was – I'm not sure if he was 1 before the injury. He's the top wide receiver, a starter. Y'all know who he is. He's very good. He is still currently on IR. So the Steelers are definitely dealing with their slew of injuries. So it's pretty going to be an even matchup this weekend. Both teams are dealing with some injuries, so no excuses. Let's get it done. Offensively, my keys to the game, and this is what I had going into the Browns game as well. When you have 2 good edge rushers on both sides of the field, run the ball up the middle, take them out of the game. And what did the Ravens do for the most part in the first half? Ran the ball. And they used a lot of pre-snap motion to get those guys moving, especially on that touchdown run at the beginning last week with Lamar Jackson scampering up the middle after the Brandon Stevens pick. They motioned Zay Flowers, sucked in the linebackers, put Garrett in motion, and Lamar just ran right by him. If we can get TJ Watt getting a little bit confused in the backfield, take him out to play completely. Nobody even has to touch him. So I anticipate the Ravens trying to get creative to slow down these pass rushers and not let them get going. That's what you do. You pound it. And the other way you could do it is pound the rock with Gus Edwards right up the gut. Pre-snap motion, that's one, and smash mouth football with Gus Edwards. Run that rock up the gut right at their defense. They don't got Cam Hayward, so run it right at them. Tire them out. That's how we beat them last year with Anthony Brown. This is how we do it again with Lamar. Oh, and by the way, Lamar's playing, obviously, but he does not play in these matchups typically. So another thing going for us, Lamar will be having his 4th ever matchup with the Steelers. Time to improve that record because Lamar. This is the only team in the AFC North where Lamar Jackson has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns and had a below average passer rating. So let's get that straight this week. All right? On paper, I really think the Ravens offense definitely is outmatching the Steelers defense. I know they got Minka. I know they got TJ. But if we can take these guys out of the game, Minka Fitzpatrick can't cover the whole field. He's only one guy. And if they blitz or whatever and he gets matched up in man, I don't know how good his man coverage is. But let's get him going. We've got multiple guys to attack this defense. So go to whoever you need to. Get everybody involved, like Don was saying earlier, especially with the return of Rashad Bateman. I'm excited. Oh, Keaton Mitchell made his return, too, to the practice field. Don't forget about him. So we've slowly got a steady backfield now. We've got more guys back, and it's a really beautiful thing to see. And another injury that I completely forgot to cover, Kenny Pickett is back fully practicing. Don said something about it earlier, but it's official. He's most likely going to play. But I know he practiced fully. How is that bone bruise going to impact his mobility? I know it's not something that's going to go away in a few days. Well, I'd be shocked. I don't know if I've ever had a bone bruise on my knee, but safe to say it's probably going to linger a little bit, at least a week. Am I right about that, Dom? Have you ever had that before?
I never had it. I'm not entirely sure, but I know it's not going to be something just that's going to go away in a short amount of time that he has to recover, especially if he's been limited. Like if he's still practicing throughout the week and he's trying to just power through it. I don't know how much. I doubt he's going to try to take off as much if it's still impacting him, but we will see. But
that's huge. Sure. If it impacts his mobility, that will make him more of a statue because Kenny Pickett is sometimes can escape the pocket pretty decently. So let's get some interior pressure, make him move on that bad knee, and then turn those edge rushers loose. Clowney, I need you to get a sack this game. I really do. You've been working so hard to get it. You have about 1.5 this year. Go ahead and get 2 on Kenny Pickett today. Or not today, on Sunday. Go ahead and do it. They're down some offensive linemen. this has an opportunity for the Ravens defense to really excel again. All right. And we already know the Steelers ground game, they don't have faith in it at all. And whether that's a Matt Canada thing, I know he is definitely part of a dumpster fire down there in Pittsburgh. The Steelers fans are calling for his head, which we love to see. We love to see riots going in Pittsburgh about their football team and their coaching staff. So keep it up. Whether it's a Canada thing or just a play call or whatever, just a Tomlin thing, they do not have faith in their run game. They do not use Najee Harris that often. So if we can go ahead and make them one-dimensional again and let these corners, who have done a very good job this year, mind you, this Ravens secondary, eat up these wide receivers, we can do something. We really can make an impact on the game. I don't anticipate them to completely get shut down like the Browns, but they really have a chance here to have another good day on defense. Maybe get some pressure, an interception or two, a couple sacks, especially with, like I said, offensive linemen being down. We need to make sure Kenny Pickett is making mistakes. He hasn't had that good of a season. 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's had his share of turnovers. So let's keep that trend going on defense. Anyway, so I kind of already switched to defense. My fault, guys. So before I hand it over to Dom for his keys, I'm going to just recap my 2. Run the rock with Gus, smash mouth football, and then pre-snap motion with Zay or whoever else you want to use to get TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith, if he plays, moving and having to pick and choose who to tackle. And then that can open up the play action and the passing game. So we can hit them on chunk plays over the middle with Money Man Mark or Nelson on those deep in posts. He's pretty good at those. Or take a shot to Zay. Or a little bubble screen to Zay, because we already know what Zay's about when it comes to run after the catch, and we love to see it in Baltimore. We really do. So on it, tire him out, and that'll open up the pass, and we should to go, in my opinion, on offense. So I'll let Dom, what do you think about defense? How are we going to do this game?
Well, offensively, I do agree with everything you just said. It's kind of hard now. I mean, run the rock, get Gus going, shoot, give Lamar some carries, and I love it. Defensively, I think Jadeveon gets his first. I think Jadeveon gets his sack in this game. Kenny has not had a great season. The Steelers have not looked good offensively. You've seen George Pickens' frustration. You've seen Najee Harris not really be what we expected him to be coming into the season. Deontay's hurt. The Steelers' offense is struggling, man. So defensively, we have an opportunity to really detriment their feelings in a really bad way. Like, I don't know if it'll be Browns, like how we had them in that game. I really doubt it. I mean, Kenny, he played us, so, who knows? But I really think we have an opportunity to really make some noise. I think we take advantage of the fact that, one, he might not be 100% for this game. So let our pass rushers go crazy. Secondly, our secondary is getting healthier with Hamilton. Shoot, let's get Hamilton some more sacks. Let's blitz Hamilton off the edge again, because he went crazy in that Colts game. So let him go again. Like, let's get creative defensively. Mike McDonald has been doing a great job of letting these guys just be them on the field. Coverage, blitzing. You know, we're not staying one-dimensional defensively. So let's continue to do that against Cleveland, who is pretty much, like I said, who knows it's like a book. Marlowe probably will not be playing in the game. I would not expect him to, but I'm ready for him to come back very soon. But I feel like the secondary has been just fine, you know, with his absence. He's just going to make us even better. So, receivers, Jake Warren, the carries. He will be maybe a concern. Again, with Najee not playing as high, I'm not really expecting too much. But defensively, will be just fine. Pickett has, put up like 6 points against the Raiders. It hasn't been looking good. It has not been a good showing for them so far. So let's get some pressure. Let's finish the job when it comes to pressure. And what I mean by that is when we get back there, let's get Pickett to the ground. Not all over us. Get him to the ground. Let's Clowney. Let's go get him. Van Noy. Van Noy made some noise in the last game. Then, he made his presence felt. So let's see him also, Kenny, just let these pass rushers do their thing. Pass rush will be a significant. The run game is not working. They're going to pick it, go downfield, especially if they go down early by a lot. That's rampant pressure. But other than that, like, it's not really too much to worry about with either. Right now, anyway, it's really still early in the season, so I can't really say they're going to be like this all season. I feel though it's not too much to worry about with them, especially because, again, it's like Matt Canada, like you said before, he hasn't done anything too impressive to show us that they're capable of putting a lot of points on the board. So if we do get a lot of 3 and outs, we have to make sure that the offense is complementing the defense doing their job. Because it did in that game against the Browns, against the number 1 defense. So let's continue to complement each other. The defense gets a stop. Let's go down there and score. Even not always a touchdown, turn range so he can do his thing. But I want to make sure that we're playing good football and that stays consistent throughout this game, because we never really know what they're capable of until they're down and out. And I usually don't count out Tomlin because he's such a great coach. Definitely, in my opinion. So getting pressure on Kenny and limiting big plays. Let's make sure we limit, let's make sure George Pickens isn't running downfield on us and, getting up on us. Really good game. Last game, we continue to be, the DB we want him to be. A lot of people have doubted, sometimes us included. I'm hoping that he continues to have a good game. He had a pick in that game. Love to see him get another one here. And yeah, so defensive pressure. Let's make sure we're giving up the big plays. That's pretty much my 2 big keys for the defense. So
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah. Oh no, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, your audio is starting to do a little bit of weird things. So just make sure you hear me okay.
I don't know what's going on with me. It doesn't like me today.
So thumbs up, yes, you can hear me. All right, great. All right. So a quick live scoring update from this Thursday night football game. What's that?
No.
Okay. All right, I was just going to give you guys a quick little scoring update. 30-20, Bears over the Commanders. The Commanders just were at the red zone trying to kick a field goal to make a 7-point game, but Joey Sly misses it, and the Bears take over with 5 minutes left, up 10. So the game most likely is over, in my opinion. They had to get points there, and it's looking like the Bears are going to get their first win of the year on the road against the Washington Commanders. The Commanders one couple plays away from beating the 4-0 Eagles, and now they are at rock bottom, about to lose to the worst team in the NFL. Sheesh, sheesh, sheesh. Anyway, defensively for this Baltimore Ravens matchup, I sort of touched on it earlier. First of all, if you want to crank up that pass rush like Don was saying, we need to make them one-dimensional so we can cut them loose. And that means stopping the run, make them completely one-dimensional. Make it so whenever they run the ball, they get 1 yard maximum, and anything else is bonus. So if they lose yards, lose 2 or 3, that would be great, because the Steelers have gone backwards on a lot of running plays that I've seen recently. I watched quite a bit of that Texans game. They weren't able to run the ball that well. Usually the runs that they get are from crazy cutback lanes from Najee Harris when the defense is all over him and he's got to do a giant cutback to go all the way around the other side of the line. Then he'll get 20 yards. So if we can limit that, we'll be fine. And that brings me to my second point, tackle, 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 tackle. Keep it up. The tackling was really good last week, so let's keep that going. All right? The Steelers like to throw a lot of short stuff underneath the sticks, right at the line of scrimmage. So wrap them up and keep them at minimum gains, and we should be fine. Then, when they want to have to take shots down the field because we're stopping their short stuff, that can lead to more pressure for this Ravens defensive line. Then Mike McDonald can send his little crazy corner blitzes or whatever he wants. Blitzes with Roquan and Pat Queen right up the gut to flush pick it out of the pocket, make him run on that bad knee. and really cause havoc for the Steelers offense. They have not looked good all year, and we really don't want to give them any opportunity to get cooking. So let's go ahead and take care of business. I really think that we have the personnel to do that. And that can really affect that can get the secondary going. If we get pressure on Pickett, that'll make it that much easier for the secondary to get an interception or nab a pass defense or whatever they're going to do. And this applies to them as well. They need to do a nice job wrapping up guys as well. I'm expecting Arthur Millette to get a nice bit of playing time again, with Daryl Rowley most likely going to be out in the slot. So that'll be great for him going up against his former team. I know he said that's no sweat, as DJ Moore takes it all the way for a touchdown, and that's going to be 37-20 for the Bears. Sorry, pardon me, that was a game break. Back to this. What was I talking about? Secondary. Something about the secondary. Sheesh. I should have looked up.
You're talking about
Arthur Millette, yes. I know this week he downplayed anything about the Steelers playing them. It's just another game or whatever. You know it's going to mean something. This was where he played and was drafted, I think. Or I don't know if he was drafted there, but he did spend a lot of time on this team. So you know there's going to be a little bit of bad blood. Same thing for Clowney last week. He downplayed it, but you knew there was a little bit of extra boost in his game because he was in there a lot. So I'm excited to see how this team does. All right, now we've gone over our keys. Both of us have given you our keys to the game on both offense and defense. Now it's time for predictions. But before I give you mine, there's something that scares me a little bit about this game. And it's not anything about the matchup. It's just about the rivalry. I think that the Ravens outmatch the Steelers on both sides of the ball. If their offense is on the field, I think the Ravens defense has the edge. The Ravens offense is on the field against the Steelers D, I think the Ravens offense has the edge. There's really no reason we should lose this game. But the only thing that could make us lose is us. If we have a sort of a performance like we did against the Colts and are just not executing the easy plays. And stuff like that scares me because the Steelers were playing at their home. You can call me a hater or whatever. I feel like they get a ton of flags at home. Maybe that's just me being a hater, but I really think that they get a lot of lucky calls, holding, pass interference, just BS stuff that goes against the opponent every time. And the other team seems to implode almost every time they play the Steelers. You can go back last year and look at their schedule. When they started 2-6, all the games that they won afterwards were just chokes by the other squad. I can give you a few right now. Tom Brady and the Bucks. There's no way you lose to the 2-6 Steelers because you struggled on offense with Mike Evans and Tom Brady and Godwin. They ended up losing that game, I believe, by like 3 points because they couldn't get a touchdown the whole game. They got field goals. Another one. The Ravens at the end of the year on New Year's on Sunday Night Football, up 10-0 or 13-3 in the second half. Offense didn't score a single point, and the Steelers just hung around the whole game. Nobody put them away, and they scored a touchdown on that BS pass to Najee Harris at the end, who was not even intended for him. It was intended for 82. I don't care what y'all say. That was not a dot Najee. That was a pass to the guy wide open in the corner. And then another one, I think it was Christmas night, the Raiders and the Steelers. The Raiders had the game. They were moving the ball all game, but Derek Carr started throwing interceptions in the fourth quarter and again kept the Steelers around, and Pickett leads them on a game-winning drive at the end, and they win by 3 or 4. Don't let this stupid team hang around in the game. Put them away when you have the chance. And the only reason I'm just nervous to pick the Ravens with a runaway game is that little weird thing that happens every time that people play this team. I don't know why. I'm leaning – I almost want to pick the Steelers to win because every time I pick the other team, my team wins. So I'm really nervous about picking this team, picking the Ravens. We are out – like I said, we outmatched them on both sides of the ball. So we should win. And for that, I'm going to pick the Ravens 20-17, because I think there's going to be some bad penalties and some miscues. I don't think it's going to be a flawless run like it was against the Browns. I'm going to pick 20-17. Or you know what? I won't even say that. I'm going to pick 20-16. I don't think the Steelers will get more than one touchdown and a couple field goals. But it's going to be a slop AFC North scrap fest. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's my prediction for this one. Defense will hold it down for the most part. The Steelers will creep back into it, but I think ultimately the Ravens' offense will do just enough to squeak out a victory in Pittsburgh, but it won't be pretty.
Okay. I mean, I don't really disagree with you. It's definitely going to be a slop fest, but I do expect maybe a little more than what we're anticipating. So I'm going to go Ravens 27-13. I think the Ravens put up, and the only reason why I say that is because I feel like Pickett turnovers are inevitable in this one. I can kind of feel it in the bones a little bit. So that might put us in really great field position to make some noise. We have really efficient. Our red zone offense is way more efficient than it was last year, which is just beautiful to see, by the way. I think we have like an 80% efficiency in the red zone, which is absolutely bonkers compared to last year because we suck. But I think we win 27-13. We're probably going to see a little bit of Tucker, of course. Didn't really see him much field goal. We didn't have to see him much field goal wise last game. But yeah, I got us winning 27-13. I feel like the Steelers will probably put one up on us, maybe. Like I said, a Pickett mistake with maybe one or two is probably coming to put us into field position to make some noise in the red zone. So I have us 27-13. Offense will hopefully we can fix this in the future, but our stagnancy in the second half has become kind of a thing this year. So I'm hoping that, we can overcome that at some point because, again, these other teams, they're able to put up points so fast, it's ridiculous. So hopefully at that point we can overcome that stagnant feeling in the second half when it comes to putting up points. But I have us winning 27-13. And, again, not going to probably be pretty, but, yeah, I feel like we still have a convincing win, but mostly from the defensive perspective.
I hope you're right. That would be a lot of fun. That would be great. Yeah. And I hope if 28-3, that would be wonderful. But I don't know. This game makes me nervous.
I know. It's scary.
Those uncontrollable factors that I just listed a while ago or a second ago. It's not because of the matchups. It's not because we're not good. It's because just stuff happens when we play this team. And stuff happens when anyone plays this team. And it's just I just don't want to fall victim to – I don't want to be on the football god's bad side on Sunday.
I'm with you. And that's why I never want to count out Mike Tomlin. Like I said, he's an all-time coach. He knows this like the back of his hand. Like this game is – I know they will never admit it, but these games are always circled on the calendar for both squads. Like this is a rivalry football for the longest time. So Steelers have always been our biggest number one rivals. These games are always the most grittiest. They're the most physical. They're the most aggressive. And I never count out Mike Tomlin. It's as much as this is going to be for the Steelers, a lot of this is going to be Harbaugh versus Tomlin. It's going to be scheming. It's going to be who can scheme the best to get their team in the best position to win. And I'm hoping that Harbaugh comes out on top and, we can secure our third division win that'll put us in a really good spot. So I think the Ravens will have enough to overcome it. I think they're going to learn from their miscues, the mishaps. Hopefully we can limit them this game and come away with a win. I think that's the important part. We need to come away with the win because, again, the division, who knows? Like the Steelers, they've gone on second half of the season runs before. You just mentioned it, actually. You just mentioned the fact they were 2-6. And and then they went on a winning spree at that point. So I never count these guys out. You can't count anybody in our division out. So this third division win will be so important moving forward. So I think they will have that in their minds, and we'll come out here and we'll get the win. Man.
If we don't
I have confidence.
Implode, we'll be okay.
Agreed.
If we do not I'm going to say it again. If we do not self-implode at the end of the game, like every team that plays them does, we'll be okay.
Agreed.
Catches, hit the passes, hit the run lanes. Lamar, don't stand there for 25 years. If you see how the game's going and that they're getting some pressure, adjust your game. Don't just stand there. Help your line out. Scramble, throw it away. Don't take unnecessary sacks. And for the love of Jesus Christ, hold on to the ball. Please, everyone, hold on to the ball. Please, please,
Please hold on
please.
to the ball.
We
Please
don't
hold on to the ball.
strip sack T.J. Watt touchdown runs. So let's just be conscious of where they're at on the field. Be looking around before the snap, and be conscious and be smart and don't self-implode, and we'll be okay. That is so much easier said than done. But let's get over that hump of choking against the Steelers, because we should have swept them last year, but the offense screwed around in the second half. So let's cash in on the opportunities too. If we get a big punt return, let's score on it. Let's go and take the ball down the rest of the field and not get stagnant like we did in that Colts game. So that's just what we got to do. Just don't make the mistakes. Make the easy plays and execute, and we should be okay. But this game still scares me. It really does.
All right, so we gave you our predictions. We got both of us had the Ravens winning. Gon says 20-17. I got us winning. Oh, you said 16. Okay, 20-16. I got us winning 27-13. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think how do you think your team will do in week 5? Is your team on a bye? Do you like how your team is performing so far? Let us know your thoughts. Give us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. We're going to wrap up the show here. Gonz, any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Don't self-implode, and you'll be fine. And we'll be sitting pretty at 4-1. That's all I can say.
Agreed.
And by the way, the Commanders, yikes, a 40-20 loss.
Yikes.
Where's Matt now? Is he in the chat still?
Sorry. I think he's probably gone.
All right. Anyway, I'm done. That's all I wanted to say.
All righty. So we'll hope we will see you guys for another Victory Monday. Again, leave us a like, subscribe, all that fancy stuff. We're still on the road to 50 subscribers. Share with your mama, your grandmama, your kids, your grandkids, your cousins, your uncles, aunts, all that fancy jazz. Help us get to 50. We really appreciate it. That will wrap up another pregame show for Dom and Gonz Sports Talk. I'm Dom. That's Gonz. We'll see you guys Monday for postgame. Signing off.